The first time the man met his girlfriend's father, he was horrified to discover that her father was the same officer who had shot at him during a cash transport robbery years ago. But her father didn't recognize him because he had his face covered at the time, and this event had happened 8 years ago. The man's name is Xiao Bao. 8 years ago, he was noticed by a friend from his village because he could make his own guns and ammunition. His friend often asked him to make weapons, but one day, he was caught up in a robbery. His friend and his gang rushed toward the cash transport vehicle. Xiao Bao was at a loss in the midst of the sudden chaos. At that moment, an officer shot at him, but because he was wearing a homemade bulletproof vest, he survived. Soon the robbers loaded the money and took Xiao Bao with them to escape. They quickly returned to their hideout. One of their partners, a crime boss, invited Xiao Bao and his group to stay for dinner, but he had ulterior motives. While Xiao Bao was using the bathroom that night, he overheard a conversation between the crime boss and his lover. It turned out they planned to take the money for themselves. The crime boss intended to kill Xiao Bao and his group during dinner. Faced with the imminent danger, Xiao Bao tampered with his magazine. Thanks to this, Xiao Bao was lucky enough to survive. Just as he succeeded, that night, Xiao Bao and his group were having dinner. Xiao Bao's friend, drunk, went to the bathroom. Xiao Bao was uneasy because he knew the crime boss's plan. At that moment, the crime boss made his move. Noticing the crime boss's move, Xiao Bao became very nervous. He hoped that the next bullet the crime boss shot would be the one he tampered with. The moment the crime boss fired, however, Xiao Bao wasn't a match for the crime boss. At that moment, Xiao Bao's friends saw what was happening and joined Xiao Bao to attack the crime boss. Xiao Bao was knocked down repeatedly. The crime boss had already dealt with his friend. Just as he was about to finish Xiao Bao, Xiao Bao shot and killed him with his homemade gun. At that moment, the police arrived and started asking questions. When a police officer arrived and turned over the crime boss's body, he saw the bomb. Because the evidence was destroyed, the police were unable to take action. After that, Xiao Bao started a new life.